We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
One, another new series, this one about people of today and the real lives they live, beginning with a story from behind the scenes at NASA when 2 satellites were lost in space.
February 1984, Cape Kennedy, Florida, and the Space Shuttle Challenger has liftoff. Challenger's mission, to place in orbit 2 communication satellites, Westar and for the Indonesian government, Palapa. Within days, the high-risk space business has a victim. The satellite Westar is lost. Just so much junk for the already littered heavens. Finding Westar will be about as difficult as finding news amidst the clutter of America's morning television.
Which Walt Disney characters were famous for whistling while they worked, Lori?
From Lebanon, we did.
Telex today from our area director who's got...
Satellites searching the heavens for the Westar 6 satellite have received a signal, the kind that would come from the missing satellite. But it was so weak they could not get any information from it. Westar's mission director, Bill Ziegler.
Well, since we're unable to establish radio contact with it as yet, I would have to say it's possibly lost.
Well, it is a disappointment to all of us. We work a long time to bring these flights off, and we kind of get close to our customers over that period of time, so we kind of feel pretty simpatico with their objectives and their interest in getting these things done right. So it is a disappointment, and we don't quite know what to do about it yet.
It looks as if there could be yet more problems for the Space Shuttle Challenger. A second satellite was launched this afternoon, and tonight there are still doubts as to whether it has reached its correct orbit.
Officials were pleased with Palapa's success after the problems with the Westar 6 deployment. But as it was on its way to a higher orbit, problems developed. Ground stations looking for Palapa could not find it where it was supposed to be.
Satellite experts tonight are trying to figure out why 2 communication satellites have failed to achieve their proper orbits. The 10th shuttle mission is suffering from a problem that results in losing just about everything that leaves the cargo bay.
They are a very, very important part of our communication satellite industry, and getting the communication satellites to geosync orbit. We are going to offer all the help that we can in the resolution of this problem.
Hughes tracking personnel have confirmed that the Palapa satellite cannot be found in its expected orbit.
Well, now we have 2 perfectly good satellites simply in the wrong orbit, and the chances of saving those 2 satellites aren't very good at all.
As Challenger orbits the world, at NASA in Houston, Texas, a meeting is chaired by shuttle boss Dr. Glyn Lunny.
Well, look, I would have bet you my paycheck that that second satellite, the second PAM, would not have failed, but it did. So the customers are faced with these satellites being stranded in low Earth orbit, and they're not going to be any good to them there. There's nothing they can do with them there except just spend money keeping them alive. We ought to give some thought to what we can do about getting them back. There's a lot to be gained for us and for the program and for our customers if we can recover this thing gracefully. Where are they?
Where are they right now? What do we know
where
about
the
their orbit?
satellite-
Is the spacecraft deteriorating in any way? Is there a fixed length of time that we have on that spacecraft that's going to constrain us?
Well, the orbit in which it's in would decay, you know, within 6 or 8 months. We don't have a lot of time, but if they can use the apogee motor to expand it, the spacecraft is in good condition.
I suspect that the people who are going to want to get these spacecraft back are going to be in a hurry, because there's this demand to get these communication satellites up right now.
Would you think about doing both at the same time?
If we can, why not? If we can.
Do we know what the schedule is?
Nope.
Well, I think what we're going to have to do on that, Aaron, is we're going to have a close-knit team between Hughes, that knows their spacecraft, between our guys that know our capabilities for the tools and for EVA and for the crew.
Well, I would really like to do this. I really think we ought to try to go after it if we can.
Well, everybody that talks to me in the hall says, let's go get it.
Yeah, I think we ought to go get it.
Well, look, I think, like a lot of these things, it's been a problem and is a problem, but I think our team's going to have a good time with this, because it's just the kind of challenge they love to undertake.
I think we can do it.
Okay, well, let's get it started and come back and talk to us about it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Super.
Thanks, guys.
In London at Lloyds, the insurers have paid out $75 million. Reluctant to accept the total loss of Palapa, a Lloyds syndicate agrees to gamble a further $10.5 million on the NASA rescue plan. Syndicate leader Stephen Merritt.
If we do nothing now, then the satellite's a total loss, and they have a full claim under their policy. There's no question about that at all. If we can go through, in conjunction with the Indonesians and with NASA and Hughes, with this recovery exercise, then there's a very good chance that there will be some sort of saving. How many millions of dollars will actually be saved is anybody's guess, but it doesn't take many millions of dollars to be saved to make it worthwhile doing.
At the Johnson Space Center, Texas, Director of Engineering Tom Moser and his team have come up with an ingenious plan.
Fine.
How are you?
I mean, fine. We've got, let me show you this for this.
Finally getting in the final configuration.
Right, we've got a concept here, which I think is going to work fine.
What we intend to do is to get a shuttle up to a place in space where the satellite can be brought. The satellite then be loaded onto the shuttle, brought down, refurbished by Hughes, made in a condition where it's effectively as good as new, and then it can be relaunched.
Committed to underwriting a sci-fi concept, Merritt awaits the NASA small print.
We want to bring it back to within about 35 feet of the orbiter. Station keep. Joe Allen will then pull out of a stowed area on a pallet something we call a stinger. But essentially, he flies this stinger into the nozzle of the satellite, captures it in the throat. All right, now the manipulator comes around.
You're running out of hand.
Grabs hold of this. All right, rotates it around to this position. Joe Allen lets go. Got the guy on the bottom. He releases this stinger, the probe, actually pulls it off.
Okay.
And this time you'll need to rotate it to your right in the opposite direction. But you're at my other left.
Testing the stinger has been assigned to astronaut Joe Allen. Working in an airless chamber in a radiant environment of minus 300 degrees Fahrenheit, his assessment is crucial.
Now it's slipping. Okay, and we can observe that. It's not catching into the cog at all, so I'll have to go with my other hand, make it catch into the cog, which would be hard to do if this were fastened to the front of me. Okay, we copy. That is connected, and it is locked, and I verify lock. Roger. Then go ahead and turn the speed disk and take up the immediate slack. Okay. Speed disk is being turned. And it is noticeably stiffer than it was. Roger, we'll make that note. And the ratchet does not bounce at all, so something's been done there. I will wager. Roger. And Mike, what I think, it has been stiffened from yesterday. Either that or the temperature's changed. It doesn't want to go over that last 16th of an inch. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. Okay. Okay.
6 hours later, the debriefing is held.
You really do exist.
Astronaut Joe Allen, who has a doctorate in physics, must now, from memory, analyze the mechanical stinger. With only 6 weeks to the launch, there are still many problems for the design team. But hasty solutions now could, for Allen and his astronaut partner, Dale Gardner, prove disastrous in space.
Yeah, we'll start with the dry run 2 days ago. I think is absolutely essential. Absolutely. I would, Dale had suggested it was a good idea, and fortunately I always listen to Dale, but he didn't emphasize it enough. The next thing was the ring that goes on the stinger, the extra stinger, worked fine. But you now have to get down, feel around for the little ratchet toggle and hold it in the up position, clockwise position, until it engages. But it works okay, but you just got to be aware of that. Did you exercise that one, Dale, in the cold?
No.
That just needs to be done again.
We know what the problem is, and we think we know how to resolve it.
Okay.
While Joe Allen contends with the mechanics of rescue, Shuttle's front office contends with the press and its public relations.
Dr. Lunny's office, Lois Ransdale. Yes, ma'am. Dr. Lunny is on site today, but not in the office at the moment.
Is there a more simple way to do it? Can, instead of using the probe, the finger, what have you, we can grab this thing with a pair of pliers?
I don't know that anybody's come up with anything much simpler than this.
What is it costing NASA?
The total is 5.5.
$5.5 million, and that's
for both. $5.5 million for both. And it's yet to be done, but we're looking forward anxiously to trying to do it next month.
This $2.75 million charge per satellite, is that contingent upon success?
No. It's in the bank. It was decided early that we would run this program in as open a way possible, and we would tell people what was going on in the program and keep the press and our countrymen and everybody else informed. A little bit like freedom, perhaps. It was so fundamental to us that we don't stop to talk about it, and we kind of take it for granted.
A month prior to launch, and the crew of Space Shuttle Discovery must give a press conference. Discovery's commander, Rick Houck, pilot, Dave Walker, and mission specialists, Dale Gardner, Dr. Anna Fisher, and Dr. Joe Allen.
Dr. Allen?
Good morning.
Hi.
Jeff Leavenworth.
Jeff, how are you?
Good morning, Joe.
Hi, Carlos.
How are you doing?
It is a long probe that has fingers that can pop out when we command them to do so, and we're going to fly up and stick that probe into the rocket nozzle of the on the back of the satellite, and then command those fingers to pop out, at which point we will be what we call soft dock to it. We'll be attached, but not rigidly.
Dale Gardner had the original concept of the stinger, and the more he thought about that, and then the more the engineers looked at it, the better idea it seemed to be. And time will tell whether it's a flawless idea or not. But that's very much a concept originally from Dale.
Is he an amateur mechanical engineer?
Who's Dale? Well, he's a professional
he's
Navy test engineer, and nothing amateur about any of it.
But I mean, his training is in a different.
He was
engineering.
Well, let's see. I'm not engineering. It's kind of engineering. There's mechanical and electrical, and he's very knowledgeable in almost all those fields. He actually was originally educated as a physicist.
Joe's the flyer, and I'm the mechanic on that one, if you want to look at it that way. My job on that one is the attachment of many varied individual weird-looking structures to the satellite after Joe has already captured it.
When they presented this plan to you, this sort of celestial juggling act,
yeah,
did you shake your head and go, is that the simplest way?
In simple terms, the satellite retrieval is just go grab the satellite. It's the first step, and hold it so that you can secure a piece of tooling to it, a fitting, a large fitting, that really mates the satellite then to a pallet in the Space Shuttle payload bay. That's all there is to it.
Countdown continues for tomorrow's launch of the Shuttle Discovery, and we'll take a look at that and more when we update world and national news in just a moment. Stay with us.
Frankly, we are putting 5 or 7 or 8 or whatever number of people on top of, 4.5 million pounds of disaster. And we need to ensure that we have done all that we can to make the vehicle as safe as we can. When all those things are done, it is indeed a safe vehicle. I wouldn't ride on it if it were not.
I really set out to be a scientist and a teacher. And maybe someday I'll become a scientist and a teacher. My children, by contrast, are neither interested in teachers or astronauts. They're interested in really exciting things like football players, ice skaters, Olympic champions. So they don't much care what I do.
And the countdown went very smoothly throughout the night, ever since it was picked up at the T-minus 11 hour point. There were only very minor problems.
This flight has really been fun because of all the people involved and the dedication and the enthusiasm all the way across the board, from the engineers that designed the hardware, who have done a tremendous job to pull this flight together, to build the amount of hardware we had to build for this flight, and the period of time we had to test it and deliver it was absolutely amazing. They've done a super job.
GSS verified. AFM verified.
My major concern is that there's something that we haven't thought of. We put this flight together very quickly in a shorter time frame than we normally prepare for a complex mission, and you worry that you haven't thought of all of the possibilities. Ours is a job of what ifs, and we always try to think of all of the what ifs.
Of course, our sixth crewman on board is Murphy. Murphy is alive and well, and he flies with us every flight. You've heard of Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law says whatever will go wrong, or can go wrong, will go wrong, or whatever. So if we can just keep tabs on Mr. Murphy, we got it made.
Well, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I guess it's a moot point at this time. We've been informed that we've been directed to scrub today's launch. Therefore, we will not continue.
In Mission Control Houston, Florida's decision is not unexpected by flight directors Bourgeois and Stone. But the news has still to reach all NASA personnel. Shuttle Boss Secretary Lois Ransdell.
Muffins, hot muffins.
No-go, and we will have to scrub for today. I know it's a disappointment to the team, especially...
I waited at the gate for them to open. Oh, they didn't. What happened?
The problem which caused us to postpone this morning is one of upper-level wind shears. They have been extremely erratic between the 20,000 and the 50,000 foot levels.
You take it all very personally, don't you?
Well, I should. It's a good part of my life. Oh.
This is Shuttle Launch Control. We are scrubbing for today, and will once again pick up the countdown tonight and proceed for the launch at 7:17 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow morning. This is Shuttle Launch Control.
There was no launch today at all at Cape Canaveral. Only those familiar words from NASA, "We'll try again tomorrow."
What caused the delay this morning, Stephen?
David, there's some pretty strong winds in the upper elevations over Cape Canaveral early this morning. I'll tell you, the political losers aren't the only ones who are feeling a little bit down today. Everyone associated with the NASA program was so psyched up about this mission that it was hard to even accept a temporary delay brought on almost at the last minute by a huffy-puffy Mother Nature.
Well, this is actually a simple delay since we don't have an orbiter problem. We just have to come back and regroup and be ready to go tomorrow and hope the winds are acceptable for launch tomorrow. So this is not a difficult delay for us to deal with. It's just a matter of waiting until it's time to go again.
Well, I'm glad it's nothing technical. The crew's going to be disappointed and everybody... Well, as long as it's just the... Oh, turn those things off, you guys. Let's have a cup of coffee and a muffin. Right out of the oven. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's just right.
T-minus 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. We're go for main engine start. 7, 6. We have main engine start. 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Liftoff of Discovery, and the first flight to retrieve and return satellites from space, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Watched by the world, and more particularly its Washington critics, Mission 51A will last 8 days. Anxious days, for NASA must prove the worth of their multi-billion-dollar program. Mission Day 2, and here in CSR, the creators and users of the new technology monitor the mission's first task, a satellite launch, similar to the recent and very public failures.
At 17 minutes, the KU band power is set to shut the standby.
Mission Control, Houston. Telesat is go for a deploy anywhere between 40 and 65 RPMs, but they'll shoot for around 50.
At D-minus 15 is when it is.
Mission Control, Houston, the sun shield's now coming open.
There it is.
Port side sun shield now.
Saturated. The RPM's going up. The current looks good. Spin up, started. Right on.
22 RPM.
Okay, Ron, we're setting up now to show the deploy. Keep in mind this is mainly in darkness, some moonlight, but a little bit of artificial light from the orbiter. I'll go ahead and select.
We have deploy.
Fire
We have
and...
deploy. All right.
Well, they look pretty happy.
Should be okay.
We'll stick around for another hour.
Smile now.
Once clear of shuttle, the satellite's booster rocket should fire, pushing it into a prescribed orbit. It was at this point that both Westar and Palapa failed, reacting like damp squibs. With only minutes to go, the manufacturers sweat it out.
Mission Control, Houston, data shows the arm moving to position to record the PKM burn.
Ignition should be in 5 seconds. Pick up the whole thing. Motor burn.
Okay, we got you loud and clear, Ron. You called us right as we're looking for the initiation of the burn. I don't think we'll be able to see it, Ron, due to the daylight pass. So.
Crews indicating they don't think they're going to be able to see ignition due to the daylight pass. We're fighting the sunlight with a camera to pick it up.
Just because they can't see that does not mean that the burn hasn't happened.
The arm is out looking, but we can't see anything.
So we'll have to wait till a little better than an hour from now then for spacecraft acquisition, where we have a good indication.
Mission Control, Houston, the first opportunity that the ANIC Control Center will have to take telemetry from Telesat will be at an upcoming station in Brazil, and they're not sure that they'll get data that would confirm the burn or not.
56 minutes later, it was confirmed by the tracking station on Guam that the Apogee rocket motor had boosted the satellite into a geosynchronous orbit. In Mission Control Houston, the night watch takes over. Day 2 ends in success. A working satellite is now worth $53 million. Pleased with themselves they may be, but the task on Day 5 will not be so routine. Donning 2 EMUs to go EVA, supported by a PLSS, Joe will traverse from the FSS on the MMU. Or put simply, they will go EVA, extravehicular activities, walkabout. In EMUs, extravehicular mobility units, spacesuits. On an MMU, manned maneuvering unit, a jet backpack developed on the ill-fated Challenger mission by Bruce McCandless.
I was the first to fly the MMU, 41B. It was a very pleasant, fantastic experience. When you get out away from the orbiter 100 yards and you look around, the only man-made object that you can see is, in fact, the orbiter off on the horizon. 1 minute you're over the U.S. and a couple minutes later you're over Africa, for example, brings home the point that we have to all work together to cooperate and to preserve our environment.
As the Discovery crews sleep and loop the world, a report concerning the previous Challenger mission is being presented to senior management. Shuttle is unsafe. Tiles designed to prevent the crew being incinerated on re-entry are falling off.
I would have to say today we do not have an ability to meet the next launch. You could be in a posture where the program would have to make a decision on whether to delay the launch for some more time. To me, that's a fairly difficult choice to make.
You know, it's probably crazy, but I just wondered if we have missed something, maybe trying to mechanically keep the water off these things.
Down on the second floor in Mission Control Houston, the imminent problem of placing Shuttle alongside the failed Palapa is the only one on the mind of lead flight director Larry Bourgeois.
Discovery within 250 feet of the Palapa now. Moving in very slowly, 0.3 foot per second.
Holy smoke, look at that satellite. Riser's coming down. I can find it.
Discovery, Houston.
Go ahead, Houston.
Roger, we're going LOS. We'll listen to you over Yargati. Guam will be no-go this pass, and we'll see you at Hawaii at 08. And we'd like a status on the stability of the satellite.
Okay, I got that one. Thank you.
As Joe and Dale prepare to leave Discovery for extravehicular activities, their every move is monitored by the Houston EVA room.
Right now we're in preparations for the first EVA on this mission, and they're about to begin a period of pre-breathe where they sit inside the suit for a 40 minutes period of time to wash all the nitrogen out of their suit and out of their bodies, so that when we depress the cabin to go EVA, they don't experience any bend symptoms.
There goes the pressure.
Yeah. Pressurized.
Dawn on mission day 5, and the Palapa retrieval, as NASA had hoped, has attracted TV coverage.
Attach a ring to the bottom of the satellite, which will then be used to park that satellite right into the cargo bay. If everything goes as planned, the spacewalk will end about 11:30 Houston time.
So they don't know for sure they can do it, but they're going after it with everything they've got.
We will see Joe Allen with his jet backpack go after the satellite, and we'll bring it all to you. Steve?
Okay, Houston, Discovery.
Go ahead, Rick.
Mission Control, the crewmen in the airlock are egressing, going outside into the cargo bay.
Here, Joseph. Okay, I did copy the first part of the last sentence.
Okay, the other red line is leaving the FSS. That's 2000, 2000.
I'm ready to go in it, Dale. Okay.
For the insurers and their Indonesian clients, the work is done. In the customer support room, it's time to cross fingers and hope for the best. Lloyds man Stephen Merritt.
The real purpose of being here was just in case anything went wrong and there was a need to express the customer's point of view. And thankfully, up to now, there's been absolutely no need to do that. But it is very important, I think, that people appreciate the enormous technical difficulties that both NASA and also Hughes have had in reaching this stage. And it must be a great consolation to the space insurance industry that they can do this. And it's really an encouragement for people to stay in that business at a time when the money side of it looks very unfavorable, and whatever we recover for the two satellites, it will continue to look very unfavorable.
Representing the legendary Hughes Aircraft Corporation, developing part of the retrieval hardware, is a somewhat nervous Dr. Braverman.
No, we've never evolved. It's very tricky. And it's been, I'd say it's been fun, but it's been a real learning experience.
Something that worries you?
No, not really, because we have very bright people doing it, and but it's something we're learning as we're going.
It's not something that's happened before. It's a unique
God, I hope it doesn't. I'm glad it hasn't happened before, and I hope it doesn't happen again. You can always have problems, but we don't foresee any. I know a few people who are going to walk up to the satellites and kiss them. Our orbital mechanics people who've been really working hard are considering that this is almost like having a baby, and they're going to be quite pleased when they see those satellites on the ground.
How do you like that, Joe? That is wonderful. I can't believe what this is like out here. It is magnificent. Endlessly fulfilling. Okay, the lights are both out. Confirmed. Oh, go ahead then. Okay.
Discovery, Houston.
Dale, have you completed the MFR press? Okay, let's go through the numbers. The foot restraint is 30 upright towards the tail. Okay. The stanchion is upright. It's tilted back to 27 degrees. That sounds good.
Do we have a picture?
Let me check out the satellite here. Oh my goodness. Look at that. It looks beautiful. You can go a little higher, Joe, so you can clear Dale. Don't want to get too close to the satellite, jeez. You can go a little higher.
Did you hear what Joe just said? He's checking out the MMU, and what he just said was that he was afraid to go too high. He was going to bump into the satellite. It is obviously right there.
There it is.
Look how close it is.
Yeah.
Looks as if it's going to come right in.
We interrupt our regular program schedule to bring you a special report from ABC News.
Good morning. This is Lynn Scher at the Johnson Space Center in Houston. You are looking at live television from space right now. This is the world's first capture of a runaway satellite.
They're traveling along at 17,400 miles an hour in synchronous orbits.
That's Joe Allen, the astronaut, who is flying that jet backpack on his way to go get the satellite. These satellites, remember, were not designed to be retrieved.
What do you got left for gas, Joe? 2,000. Hey, good work. 200.
Discovery, Houston, with you through Guam with PD of the payload day.
2000, 2000. To start the translation, 1600, 1600. And to perform the docking, 1100, 1100.
It's now 8 o'clock at the Johnson Space Center. There are future missions to plan, ideas to research, the bureaucratic details of a civil service to perform. It's demanding work for the center's 7,000 employees, especially when, like Lois Ransdell, your mind is elsewhere.
I think it's fantastic, but I still... Those fellas really have guts. When you get away from the spacecraft and there's no umbilical cord and all around you just infinity. Just little bitty clouds and the blue sky and the ocean, and there he is putting along to the, you know, the light on the back of his pack. Going toward that, what looks to me like a huge satellite, trying to latch onto it and hold it. Oh, and act so matter of fact about it.
And they will be coming back with live picture, I believe, in just a few minutes. We've lost picture for just a little while. We'll come back with more picture and more information on what the astronauts are doing up there after this commercial and a word from our local station.
New Tang breakfast beverage crystals, now improved with a fresher orange taste, plus a full day's vitamin C. No wonder New Tang was selected for the space shuttle.
Wake up your day, a fresh new way to the great new Tang.
Improved with fresher orange taste.
Who'd ever think I'd get hemorrhoids? I don't sit around all day.
Okay, I would not back up. Okay, don't back up. Oh, pitch down and then pitch around. Go forward for a little bit. Okay, pitch down so you can see where you're at. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm penetrating.
Good shot. That's wonderful. Good timing.
Go get it, Joe. Boy, has he waited for this. Boy, has he waited for this.
Goggles full. Okay, gyro power's coming off. And they're back on. And I'm starting to toggle. I've got a soft dock. Soft dock. Soft dock.
They've done splendid work, and these astronauts, you know, they're truly American heroes, these astronauts. Go ahead, keep making my day.
You should have been around. You should have been around for a couple of the tense moments back in the last couple of months.
Well, we had our own tense moments.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic. You fellas have done a magnificent job.
Thank you.
People who've done the maneuvering and the orbital mechanics, I think to me, it's just mind-boggling that you could bring that thing so close.
Pulling it down. Pulling it down. Okay, the wrench is broken over. Stop the clocks. I've got it tied. Okay, you can yaw around to the left and come towards us. Okay, you can yaw around to the left when you're comfortable, Joe.
I'm happy, but my stomach is still turning cartwheels, and I'll feel much better when we get that adapter on.
It's almost money in the bank.
Well,
it's not quite in the bank, but it's getting there. It's certainly getting there. Certainly feel a little better now than when I first came in this morning.
Mission Specialist Anna Fisher will use the mechanical arm to grapple a fixture on the side of the Stinger and move both the satellite and the crewman over into position for Gardner to attach an A-frame structure.
There's no end to that talent.
Exactly.
You just hope they can come home like good boys.
Exactly.
Well, it's not over yet. We've got to get it down in the bay before it's over. We got to sell out on the end of the arm, but we still have not got him in a position where we can bring him home. Once we've got it down in the bay, then I'll feel good.
You're going to present the antenna in to me. I want to inspect it in a few minutes to see if there's a place I might tether to, in addition to holding on to the floor bar.
Okay, I'll bring it over, and you just tell me where you want it.
Okay.
Dr. Bravo, when you say you're not there yet, what are you waiting for?
We have to put the adapter on the ring of the spacecraft, and until we get that done, really they're going to put the A-frame on next. Then it's our turn because the adapter is something that we built, and there's still a lot left to go. But we're awfully happy with the way things have gone so far. Those pictures are magnificent. Do you have those pictures? Oh yeah, those are just absolutely magnificent. In fact, they're putting the A-frame on now, which...
yeah, that's a good picture of the front end. Well, I know.
It's just been amazing to watch. I'm just 3 feet off the ground.
Larry Bourgeois, it may only be one small step between CSR and mission control, but in that time, Joe and Dale have hit a problem.
Okay, Anna, now wait just a second. Okay, it's going to have to, the top end's going to have to go aft, and I hope this is going to be possible for you. Want me to tell him? Yeah. Houston Discovery, we're going to let Dale talk. We got a problem here.
The common bracket clamp will not fit on the satellite.
Hey, Jack?
The problem is, between the two octagons, between the two common bracket parts of the satellite, is a structure that's sticking out far enough that it is hitting the cross brace of the common bracket.
Listen.
This structure right here was hitting the cross brace of the common bracket clamp. It stuck out far enough that I was not able to push the common bracket clamp in far enough that way in order to make the V-head clamps go over the octagon.
Put payloads, hit payloads. Hang on.
The astronauts have discovered a design fault.
Up to the top, right below it,
A ridge of just 1/4 of an inch is preventing the mechanical arm grabbing Palapa and stowing it into the cargo bay. So Joe Allen must literally hang on until a solution can be found.
Yeah, I hear it. I mean, I don't understand what the reason is, but I hear it.
Joe, you got the rest start drawings?
Oh, I got the adapter drawings. Is it the Omni deployment mechanism?
No, I'm sure what it is the
Where's the obstruction?
feed horns.
Got to be coax. I mean, waveguide.
It's either the back of the feed horns or the...
Or the waveguide that goes into them.
waveguide.
See, we never had any drawings of waveguide.
You got a drawing here, Jack?
No.
Not of that. We debated how many drawings to bring, and there was 1,000 drawings of that stinking spacecraft. Yeah, I understand the plan. You need to get a feel for how substantial that thing is. If it's a coax or a waveguide we can cut or bend, that's another way to look at it too.
Hit it, dent it.
But there's no way, probably, yes. I think you should be able to cut it with those shears or hit it with something and push it out of the way.
Because if it's waveguide, it's easy. If it's waveguide, it's thin wall rectangular tubing.
It's not flex.
No.
Where is Jack? Jack, there are photographs here. You ought to take
Wait a second, will you?
Not going to see much of the blankets on it.
No, that's the best we can come up with.
Where's the common bracket that we...
Right, you got your finger on
These things right here.
This is one side of it. This is the hex he's referring to. That he can't referring to.
The other one is directly
behind it.
Yeah.
Okay, also, do you have a number for him at home?
I understand that. No, there's no question about it. They're going to go ahead and try the contingency mode then. You can't get Barry Ross.
I haven't tried yet. I still got the secretary of... I'll have her try and call him at home. She said she'll be in about 8:30.
Yeah, try to get him at home, that's right.
Davis Fosto there.
That's the thing to do.
They got to tether it, of course.
And they can get the wrench on it. And then all they do is fix this, and there's no question here with the knife edges going in, all that shouldn't be.
No, they're totally in.
And then you got then you're eliminating that cross member.
But it's not structural.
Yeah, that's what I said. Then you're eliminating when you do it.
Yeah, that's good. It's not structural. It just keeps the two as a unit.
So you're just holding it with you just hold it in configuration with the with the A-frame itself. This piece up here holds A-frame first.
It's only...
Okay, now it's very important too that Barry Ross get him. I'm positive he's probably, or Marco also. Well, either one of those two, and I would try them both. At least Baines is involved, and Baines will, I don't think Baines is quite so good mechanically, I mean, with the details, but he should know that pretty well too. So just work it with all those guys, and please give me as much information as you can, as soon as you can.
If they got a backup plan, let's just scrub it.
I just want to make sure I understand there's something that we're missing. I just don't want to.
Yeah, well, I think we ought to just proceed with it.
They are. And we're not stopping them. I just want to make sure I got all the facts. I got obviously.
Will you get hold of somebody real quick and let's get those Western Union drawings? No, let's get the Western Union drawings.
Yeah.
Make sure we understand what's going on there.
No.
Because he can pull these guys together and get hold of them.
We're going to go straight to the backup. And we've practiced that in the WEDF, and it'll take a little longer, but we think we can pull that off all right. That's where we are.
And my power tool is here, ready to go, as soon as Dr. Allen shows me a satellite.
Okay, I think you're ready. You can just lay there and leave your brain running while your body rests a second.
Okay. My body's in fine shape. I really haven't been working that hard, frankly. Been mostly mental, not physical. I wish I could say it was different.
Tom, how would a problem like this arise? Something that somebody hadn't anticipated? What?
Well, it's something that we didn't anticipate from the configuration of the spacecraft. There are waveguides that transmit the information to the antennas, and the waveguides probably are not held to a specific configuration since that's not important for the spacecraft. And it was the configuration of those waveguides and this cross member that generated an interference.
You gonna get it sorted out?
You bet.
Close-ups
of the forward end?
Yeah,
if we can get a playback. Let's get that playback right now. Yeah. Okay.
The antenna bridge on top didn't work. There was some sort of an interference that we don't fully understand yet, but that's in working in parallel. What we've done is revert to Plan B, which has one of the pilots, Joe Allen, up front holding the satellite. He's in some foot restraints and he's tethered to the orbiter, and he's holding the satellite. Dale on the back end has taken the shower cap in, which covers up the nozzles, keep all the junk from falling out, and then he's going to put the structural adapter in, and then the two of them will manhandle it down into the frames and latch it closed. And then we will spend some more time, and that's what's going on right now, talking about what do we want to bring into the cabin overnight to work on it or change it, and that's what the conversation is about here, sort of what to do next.
Well, it takes away an option if you do. Then you can't go back and use it like it was intended.
Yeah, if you take it apart.
You take it
Right.
apart.
That's right. Okay. So they're going to get that other thing over here?
Yeah, it's on the way right now.
Okay.
What was my comment before? It's never over till it's over? No, they're going to wrestle this one down, and what we're doing is working on Westar to make sure that we understand what interferences might be on Western Union, and we're a little embarrassed. But NOS will take care of this one. I'll get it done.
It's very impressive the way that 40 people suddenly appear.
You mean 40 disorganized ants all of a sudden got organized? We just appear that way.
Hi, Larry. Perhaps I spoke too soon. I'm
You
sorry.
sure did. We'll get there, though.
That's the side, so the cross bracket goes through right there?
Goes through right there.
We are just working on Westar. Because of the way that it's described, looks like there's nothing cut out, and we just assume you're going to go to backup. So we're trying to focus, see what happened on Palapa, but make sure that we understand what's going on.
Okay, we're going to try to get a picture of the area of Palapa where we got the problem before we finish out there today.
Okay.
With the thermal insulation removed.
You're definitely on the backup mode, though, in terms of...
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Better come this way, Joe. I'm helping you push it over there.
Okay. You got to bend back a little bit, Joseph, just a little bit.
I'm bending.
Okay. Now come right a little more.
If there's anything you guys find quickly that we can still make up on Palapa, I don't want to give up on Palapa yet. I realize the only thing you can do is put about 50 guys crawling over that data and try to figure out what the hell we can get out of that thing. Get the vehicle engineers involved and so on.
Joseph, you have to lean back with it consciously because each time that you relax, it comes down into the bay.
So, let me tell you, you've got to kind of point it towards the port wing more. There you go. Because I'm not straight back from you. I'm over here in the middle of the bay, see? Okay.
Well, the trouble is with these blankets, I mean,
You can't see the problem.
you just can't really tell. The hexagonal bolts.
Can we come up with anything that shows us that?
We looked like hell for Palapa pictures. We could not find any.
They have removed the RMS from the satellite, so he's holding the satellite by himself. Then, okay, they're going to put an adapter on the satellite while he is still holding on to it, and then he's going to take the satellite and twist it, and they're going to, with him holding it, dock it or mount it into the orbiter. It's still going on, so we don't know it's going to work for sure, but it looks like it's going to work.
Hey, Joe, take it up out of the bay. I got the stinger in my hand.
Okay, Joseph. Up very slowly. Very slowly.
And just take it at some point where you can hold on to it for a while I still the stinger, okay? Okay. This is called, just take it up there and relax. We'll get it back in position for the adapter in a second.
Good work.
Don't have it yet.
Oh, I thought you did.
Discovery, Houston. Dale, if you can't get that thing secured, go ahead and just tether it there as securely as you can. We'll get it after we get the spacecraft in.
Okay, Jerry. I think I got her. No, I didn't.
Latest report is I think we're going to get it.
Anything special you have to do?
No, what you see them doing now, I think they'll be successful in getting it. We're just looking at other options of trying to grab it for Wednesday, for the rest of it. Okay.
Thanks.
Dr. Mosher.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
We're looking over your shoulder off the RMS.
Okay. Doing number one right now.
How's the time, Jerry?
We're 4 plus 1.5 at this point, Joe.
Okay, so we got a little time left.
Roger. Bonnie asked to make sure that Joe made sure no pigeons perched on his shoulders.
I've never been safer with regard to pigeons.
Okay, number one, position indicator is down to flush. Beautiful. Going to number 5.
Now I can twist it however you want, Dale.
Okay, that's all you're going to do.
Right, you're moving it?
Yeah, and now I'm stopping it.
Okay.
You were really noble. Number 5 is coming.
Okay.
No, that filming was... Two more feet? How can you do that?
Okay, 4 is toward
Up at the top. Oh. Gives me goosebumps. Sound like a couple of tourists. Are we asking? Pull up a chair, Peggy. Are we asking how much the satellite weighs?
a little further.
Oh, I want to do something for those guys, I'll tell you. They're saving our asses.
Whose asses?
Well, I'll just hanging out in the wind, but it's buck stops here, guys.
Hey, these things happen.
They don't like, but I don't want them happening on my shift. These guys, yeah. These guys are doing a great job. That's why I say we got to do something for these guys when we get back. There's no question about that. Okay.
I changed them for a wrist tether. I have one. Oh, I know, but I've been doing it with this mini workstation. Oh, yeah. It's been just, you know, it wraps around itself and it dangles. But I'm so close to the end that it's not worth getting off this horse and getting on another.
He sounds like he's just a little bit tired.
Said he was.
You got to tilt the satellite back left.
Okay. Knock her off,
Mission Control, Houston. Palapa is hard down on the pallet.
Hey, now you clap. We got 30. We got 30.
We pick up and deliver.
You have yourself a spacecraft, Mr. Benner.
You're watching Channel 13, KTRK TV, Houston. Live at 5.
And another unique chapter has been written in the space history books this afternoon. Astronauts Joe Allen and Dale Gardner took a satellite out of orbit and stowed it in the cargo bay of the Space Shuttle Discovery.
I'm worried about, what's today, Monday, Tuesday? I'm worried about Wednesday.
You've got a professional goat here. It's one small step for a company, but one giant leap for mankind, or something to that.
So the satellite was captured, much to the delight of insurance underwriters who paid out $75 million when Palapa didn't perform right. And with the crew once again together, NASA read a thank you note.
Your insurance customers are enthusiastic in their congratulations on the most successful outcome of this.
They've overcome what was clearly a very serious, unexpected difficulty, and they did it by the human endeavor rather than by any mechanical super means, and I think that just shows that this is a tremendous combination of the individual skills and the technical achievement. I'm absolutely tickled pink.
I just want you all to know how proud we are of what you've achieved on this mission. You've demonstrated that by putting man in space on board America's space shuttle, we can work in space in ways that we never imagined were possible. Bless you all. I have to go to work down here on Earth, but just please know how proud all of us are of what you've done, and God bless you all.
Thank you, sir, very much.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
6 nautical miles to go.
Discovery Houston, on glide slope, on center line.
Roger. Now 4.6 nautical miles out. 1.4 nautical miles. Wheels are down and locked.
Mission 51A rescued 2 satellites, launched 2 more, made 126 orbits of the world, traveled 3,289,000 miles, but Discovery landed late, 1 second late. Retrieval of Palapa and Westar cost $18 million. Ever mindful of costs, NASA flies the crew home to Texas and family in cheaper style.
Are they all on this one? Yeah, all on the same airplane, I think, with Abby and maybe John Young.
Fantastic. Good show, as they say in England.
That was America. That was America. Yeah, made it so
Oh, Jerry.
Hey, Glenn. It was America. How you doing? Everybody got their...
Oh, yeah. Well, you lose a few heartbeats, huh?
How they doing?
Going?
They're doing great. Yeah, they're doing
terrific. How you doing?
Hey, you hold on to it for just a minute. Hi, Mother. What's your name? How are you? Hi, Bob. How are you? How are you? How are you? That's pretty good, wasn't it? Not half bad. Not half.
Oh, you mean there's surprises? Huh? Okay, good enough. Oh, there's Kristen. How are you?
Oh,
Here, you gotta wave this. You gotta wave it like this.
Oh, God. All right. Hey, Joe, how are you? How are you?
Did you take a lot of pictures?
Oh, did I? We didn't have one frame left. Not one frame.
Oh, Lord.
I hope I took the lens cap off.
Oh, Ed, super. Oh, thanks a lot. Oh, thanks. It was great. I tell you, all that stuff worked.
Well, it was some. Did you enjoy it, Elizabeth? Yeah. Did you watch most of it?
Watch all of it.
Why aren't you in school? What?
I came here to see you.
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you.
We'll come over and give you a good debrief.
Yeah, I'd like to hear some more about
these days here pretty soon.
Great. You made it look perfect, huh?
Okay. You ready? Okay. See y'all later. Bye now. Okay.
They got their cells home. I just watched. Well, they did good. They really did good.